Hi, I am Masini Anis binti Muhammad Zaki, ID number 93012505090001. I took course in Bachelor with Honours in Psychology from OUM1303 Kuala Lumpur. For this January 2021 semester, I have to do this module OUMH1303 English for Oral Communication. I would like to deliver an explanation speech about climate change. What is meant by climate change? Climate change refers to the long-term changes in the climate that occur over decades, centuries or longer. It is caused by rapidly increasing greenhouse gases in the Earth's atmosphere due primarily to burning fossil fuels such as coal, oil and natural gas. These heat-trapping gases are warming the earth and the oceans, resulting in the rising sea levels, changes in storm patterns, altered ocean currents, changes in rainfall, melting snow and ice, more extreme heat events, fires and drought. These impacts are projected to continue and in some cases intensify, affecting human health, infrastructure, forests, agriculture, freshwater supplies, coastline and marine system. What cause of climate change? Climate change in the world can be caused by various activities. When climate change occurs, temperature can increase dramatically. When temperature rises, many different changes can occur on Earth. There is several causes of climate change such as greenhouse effects, ozone layer damage, global warming, and increased exhaust emissions. Now, let's talk about number 1, greenhouse effect. In everyday life, you must often hear the term greenhouse effects or the English word for greenhouse effect. What is the greenhouse effect? Is this the effect of a home made of glass? The greenhouse effect is the process of increasing the Earth's surface temperature, which is actually a natural phenomenon that is common. When the sun's heat energy reaches the Earth's atmosphere, some of that energy is reflected back into space and some is absorbed by so-called greenhouse gases. Number 2, ozone layer damage. Did you know that the ozone layer damage, which protect the Earth from solar radiation, can thin out, be damaged and even have holes in it? The depletion of the ozone layer occurs when chlorofluorocarbons and halon gases commonly found in aerosol spray bottles are released into the atmosphere. Ozone at the top of the stratosphere and absorb ultraviolet radiation that is harmful to living things. Gases such as chlorofluorocarbons will cause chemical reaction that can destroy ozone molecules and reduce their ability to absorb ultraviolet rays. When released into the air, these gases can even stay in the atmosphere for decades. So, how can the destruction of the ozone layer affect climate change? Since the 1960s, air temperature fluctuations have become more frequent. The temperature of the air becomes warmer in the lower atmosphere and colder in the higher atmosphere. The dynamic of this temperature change creates conditions that can reduce ozone. When the ozone layer is damaged, the stratosphere layer in the southern hemisphere becomes cooler. This causes the wind near the poles to move fast. Then it gives rise to tropical circulation and rain in areas at lower latitude. Number 3, global warming. Some may equate the phenomenon of climate change with global warming. Although closely related, they actually have some differences. Global warming means that the temperature on the Earth's surface is increasing, while climate change means warming temperature in the other effects of warming are occurring, such as melting glacier, worsening rainstorm, and more frequent landslides. So it can be said that global warming is one of the causes of climate change. Number 4, increased exhaust emission. It is common knowledge that climate change that has significantly occurred in recent decades is the result of human activities. Human activities can produce greenhouse gases that can make the surface of the atmosphere warmer and trigger climate change. Some human activities that can produce greenhouse gas emission include coal burning, deforestation, and use of urea fertilizer. Let us discuss what the effect of climate change. Climate change can affect melting ice in Antarctica. The sea becomes warmer and sour. Climate change is extremely air pollution and increase the risk of disease. Number 1, melting ice in Antarctica. Antarctica is twice as warm as any other place on Earth. As the ice there melts and flows into the sea, there is an increase in the surface of the seawater, and it is predicted to rise to 4 feet in 2100. If the sea level rises, then the ecosystem of living things around the coast and the lowlands become endangered. The most vulnerable to this impact are archipelago areas such as Indonesia because it is surrounded by the sea. Number 2, the sea becomes warmer and sour. The sea absorbs a third of fossil fuel emission, and now the sea is 30% more acidic than in pre-industrial time. The increase in acidity threatens underwater life, especially shellfish creatures such as oyster, corals, and shellfish. The impact will also threaten other living things such as fish, birds, and mammals whose food sources depends on shellfish. Number 3, threat of extinction of human beings. Climate change is also forcing wild animals to adapt quickly to habitat changes. Many species are looking for higher and cooler regions, thus changing seasonal behavior and changing natural migration pattern. Number 4, climate change is extremely. These changes are having an impact on ecosystem, and as a result, many species are now facing the threat of extinction due to climate change. A 2015 study shows that mammals, fish, birds, reptiles, and other vertebrate species disappear 114 times faster than they should. This phenomenon is then associated with climate change, pollution, and deforestation. Climate change is said to be exacerbating the frequency, intensity, and impact of the weather cycle. For example, the rising sea level that will directly impact the sea storm. Number 5, air pollution. Air pollution and climate change are intertwined, with one exacerbating the other. As the Earth's temperature rises, not only will the air become more polluted due to the appearance of smoke and soot, but also other allergenic pollutants such as fungi that are scattered due to humid conditions and pollen. Number 6, increase the risk of disease. According to the WHO, climate change is predicted to cause about 2,050 billion deaths each year between 2030 and 2050. As global temperature rise, there will be an increase in disease caused by heat stress, heat stroke, heart disease, and kidney disease. As a solution, there are always things that we can do to fight against climate change. Saving the environment starts with us, and it is now responsibility to act against these terrible changes to preserve the planet for future generations. There's 6 ways you can do to prevent climate change. First, make your commute green. Millions of people drive to work every day. It is simply unavoidable in our modern day society. However, the downside to this is that millions of cars emit greenhouse gases that destroy our atmosphere. Vehicle emissions are a close second when it comes to the top causes of climate change. There are always other options that you can utilize to make your commute to work eco-friendly. For starters, taking public transportation to work is a great way to cut out emissions. Riding your bike to work is also incredibly helpful to the environment, and it is a great method to get exercise. Second, be more conservative with energy usage. Becoming more energy efficient is a great way to prevent pollution. It causes the power plant to expend less energy that can lead to the production of greenhouse gases. This means that you should do what you can to cut down on energy usage in your household. Make sure to turn off light and unplug devices that you are not using anymore when you are done with them. Replace your light bulb with energy efficient light bulb to help you save electricity too. Thirdly, get active and vote. One of the best ways to improve climate change is to help those who will fight against it get into office. This means voting for legislation and politicians that is against the detrimental effect of climate change. Many corporations have politicians on their payroll and use them to lobby against legislation that would require more regulation against them. Voting the right people into office will help pass legislations that allows us to fight against these corporations that are mainly to blame for climate change. Fourth, recycle. Manufacturing plants emit a large number of greenhouse gases per year. It is unavoidable in the production of goods that we use on a regular basis. However, a cleaner alternative would be invest in recycling. Recycling is a cost-effective and eco-friendly process that eliminates waste and doesn't emit greenhouse gases into the environment. Be sure to collect your discard paper, glass, plastic, and electronic to your local recycling center. The professionals will take this item to a processing plant where they will be remade into a recycled material again. Fifth, educate yourself and others. The importance of educating us about climate change cannot be overstated in our modern society. There are many platforms for us to utilize that can allow us to spread our message easily. Whether you use word of mouth or social media, there are always ways to educate others on what climate change is doing to our planet. You can help to protect the planet by educating others about the danger of climate change and how to act against it. Lastly, encourage the use of renewable energies. Focusing your efforts to spread awareness about renewable energy is the best way to create a positive impact in your community. By informing others about how renewable energy is better than utilizing fossil fuels, you will sway others into investing in the idea. In conclusion, we need to take part and try to stop global warming and other effects on climate change. If the Earth temperature continue to rise in the future, living things on Earth would become extinct due to the high temperatures. If humans contribute to control global warming, this world will be cooler and the higher temperatures we currently have will decrease. If everybody has one take stand and try to end most of the climate changes that are occurring, this world will be a safer place to live on. Thank you.